Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this special extra bonus episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. Today we are doing a predictions podcast for Saturday night's main event, the one that's happening in a couple of days here, just before the end of January. Sir, in your neck of the woods in Texas, in Tejas.
In San Antonio, Texas, dude, the home of the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. I'm not going to go to it.
Is there a reason why you don't have this passion or drive to go to this show?
It's at the arena that's at is pretty on the outskirts of San Antonio. Like it's at the most southern part of San Antonio. So coming from Austin, it's like an hour and 40-minute drive with traffic. And there's nothing to do around that area, so to speak. There's not like a concourse or like they're going to build one eventually for San Antonio's for the Spurs near the Hemisphere. But I don't know, man. I just feel like was last Saturday night main event. I feel like I'm not going to get anything that's needle moving. It's just going to be par for the course. It's not going to be something that's going to be like a big world event, almost if you want to put it in Marvel terms. But I think I'm good. I'd rather watch at home, post my reactions, and chill with the community and my comfort of my care here.
It does seem that expectations for this show are significantly more suppressed compared to the last Saturday night's main event, where a lot of people, including us, were expecting that there might be just like major things that were game changers there to end the year. But really, it ended up being a pretty simple, really flashy house show, I think is a decent way to put it. But I personally really like Saturday night's main event. I feel like it's also really valuable in today's landscape when it's really hard to get on a PLE. It's really difficult to find PLE time. And I think it's cool that this is happening right before the Royal Rumble because then it allows for folks that can't get a normal match at the Royal Rumble to have a match during Rumble season still. That's kind of a benefit of that.
I think the biggest benefit is that now that we get our expectations kind of suppressed a little bit, I could now enjoy the show a little bit more versus expecting big turns, expecting belt changes. You said it so yourself. It's an I don't want to use the word glorified house show. It's definitely a primetime house show, in that where the champions are going to be buffed. There's going to be some zaniness moment, but not anything's canon. It is canon. It's not canon. Does that make sense? It's not like it does. Crown jewel uncannonness, you know?
Sure. I am of the mind, if they want us to care about this show, like as something that is can't miss. I'm not saying that Jay needs to win.
Say it.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying a big thing needs to happen. Something that makes it so that if you miss this show, you missed a very vital episode of WWE programming. And they kind of had that in the last one with Chelsea Green becoming the new United States Women's Champion. But even then, many people didn't really feel like that was like moving the needle forward enough.
Someone had to win between one of them. So.
Exactly, right? But if they were to pull the trigger on a major title change in this, man, brother, it would make Saturday night's main event this thing that you cannot miss. But folks, we are going to be going through things match by match. This won't be a very long podcast. This shouldn't be more than 15 minutes. But this did release early over on Patreon, patreon.com/Santi's app. So if you do want early content and exclusive content that never gets uploaded to YouTube, please check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Santi's app. Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, podcasts get uploaded early. Match Club, Undertaker watch-alongs, the Royal Rumble watch-alongs, and more. Just so much more extra content that never gets uploaded to YouTube. Go check it out over there. But Sancho, let's start things off here with the Women's World Championship match, Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. I wanted to start with this one because it seems like the most plain and obvious one. It's Rhea Ripley. I'll start this off. It seems weird to even put Nia Jax in this, considering Nia Jax had that moment where she announced herself as the first, not the first entrant, but the first person confirmed for the Women's Royal Rumble. And we talked about this on the longer podcast. That's usually like a big deal. Whoever the superstar is that announces themselves as the first one confirmed for the Rumble, usually they get a major spot in the Rumble. They're one of the big contenders. So it's weird to give Nia Jax that moment of getting announced as the first person confirmed for the Rumble, and then the week before give her a world championship match, which in logical terms would disqualify her from the Rumble if she were to win, which then has to turn on the logical side of your brain, and I hope everyone has this side of the brain that tells you Nia Jax ain't winning this, brother.
One thing I am looking forward to on the positive side, I think Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley at Perth was a solid match that was robbed by the open air stadium that they had that match in at the Elimination Chamber. I think being in a closed arena, we're gonna get a little bit more, I guess, bump from the crowd from the San Antonio audience. I mean, they love Mommy out there, and I think it's going to be an interesting wrinkle. I think the only play you have here is if Liv Morgan gets involved again. And I know we don't want to see Liv. I know people are tired of it, but it's in San Antonio, dude. And you got to have Dominic Mysterio involved in some form or way, trying to win back Rhea, trying to do some of that because the crowd over there will eat it up. Again, this is a glorified house show, Santi. So having Dominic Mysterio come out and try to win Rhea's hand or mess with Rhea is not canon. It would be a way to get the crowd to pop, and I think that would be a great excuse to give Rhea an obstacle to overcome, to give a chance for maybe Nia to win. Candice LeRae is another option to throw out there because it's going to be, let's make Rhea Ripley look really strong heading into Rumble and hopefully set up a feud for her at Rumble. I don't think we'll get a match for her at Rumble, but this is one of those cases where you said where Rhea's getting a match during Royal Rumble season. Yeah, I don't mind Nia announcing that she's in it and then getting a match. We've seen times champions be in the Royal Rumble. I know it's a rare air to have them. One of my favorite Rumbles still is the one where Roman Reigns has to defend his title at the Royal Rumble. I thought that was kind of neat, even though everyone was knowing that the big dog was getting pushed to the moon. Yeah, Rhea's going to win 100%, but I'm expecting a little bit of house show shenanigans with Dominic Mysterio making an appearance, not really putting Rhea in trouble, just making the people pop for Dominic to show up.
That's really random. Why do you think that Dominic would show up in this?
Because it's in San Antonio, Texas. I mean, come on, dude.
Okay. All right. I still think it's a stretch.
Heat out there.
Yeah, I still think it's a stretch. I don't really think he makes sense in this until
Saturday Night Main Event. There's lots of things that did not make sense. Remember when Rhea Ripley just came out and just stared at Liv Morgan like, okay, why? That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I will say I do just feel that this is just filler until we get to Mania. I think everything that happens for Rhea Ripley until Mania is filler, frankly. Like, it's just who's up for her, who are we putting in front of Rhea Ripley at Mania? That's the important thing that WWE is probably focusing on.
Let's as an early prediction.
Who?
Yeah, who? Who would be the Rhea Ripley?
I think it is going to be Io Sky. Whether it's winning the Rumble or qualifying in some match to get up against Rhea Ripley, I feel like that's best available option for Rhea Ripley.
Wow. So no love for Becky. Okay.
No. Okay. Don't want to see it again. I already saw that for Mania.
Wow.
Let's move on. I mean,
wow.
It's not a match prediction, but we might as well throw it in here. We got Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens set for a Royal Rumble contract signing. I guess the only question that you can predict is what is the concessions or the addendums to the contract that Nick Aldis is talking about? Yeah, what is the addendum?
The addendum, I believe, is you can't, if you fight before the Rumble, you lose the title or whatever. Something stupid like that. It has to be, I can't see these guys brawling on site anymore. It's been happening for weeks. I think that's the addendum. Maybe the addendum is, I mean, it's a ladder match, so automatically it's no DQ, right?
Yeah, maybe no pile driver.
Oh, that's dumb.
That would be dumb, but
maybe the addendum is the pile driver is allowed.
Yeah, I think that's also dumb though.
Well, I mean, what's the addendum? You're going to have, again, the special guest is Shawn Michaels because it's in San Antonio. So he's going to be the one overseeing this. The NXT, I guess, Booker is going to watch over this signing. I think what it is to make Kevin Owens more evil. It's just an excuse to get HBK in the ring for Kevin Owens to eat a pile driver. I mean, for Shawn Michaels to eat a pile driver from Kevin Owens.
Yeah, you think that happens? We get Shawn eating a pile driver here? I mean, that'd be heat in San Antonio.
Who could sell a pile driver like no other?
Yeah.
Now, if that's in the realm of canon, right? If the WWE wanted to progress Kevin Owens as a evil heel, a stronger heel, a threat to Cody, they'd do that. But if it's a house show, then Shawn Michaels is going to do a sweet chin music to Kevin Owens. Okay. So, that's the realm that we're in. That's the playground that we're in, brother. That it could be a little bit more of that or a little bit of this. I'm hoping that they try to build up Kevin Owens as a legend killer, already taking out Randy Orton with the pile driver, already hurting Cody with the pile driver. Let's take out HBK with the pile driver.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. That's kind of the big moment that you can get out of this. like otherwise, like why is this on here and not on Friday Night SmackDown? I get it, like having big names on there, like Cody Rhodes, for making it a reason for the more casual to tune in. But I feel like if we want to make this an impactful segment, I feel like a pile driver to Shawn Michaels is borderline necessary, in my opinion.
He knows he's cute. He knows he's sexy.
Mm-hmm. He could sell a sexy pile driver.
He can.
That would be the name of my finisher, the sexy pile driver.
Gross. So disgusting.
Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. Oh, brother. Woo! I want to take this one first. This is going to be exciting. Is this make or break for Jacob Fatu? Does it feel that way? Like he needs to show out in this match?
Okay, one thing I want to make clear. As someone who do a lot of match clubs for the Patreon Wrestling School, we have a lot of Jacob Fatu matches. And we have a lot of singles matches, and they're not that great.
No, they're not.
Like
yeah, you're right.
We wanted it to be great, and Jacob Fatu does have standout moments in the match, but as an overall match, they're not great. And this is his first singles match, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Here's the bar. The bar is Bronson Reed, right? He has to equal or surpass the match that he had with Braun Strowman. Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman built Bronson Reed up. Jacob Fatu needs to be built up from this match. It cannot be, a downgrade.
Yeah,
that could happen with the Braun Strowman, because that's what we're afraid of. Remember, like, oh no, not Braun Strowman. He's gonna slow down the momentum of Bronson Reed, and that wasn't the case.
It elevated it. That's one of the reasons why I'm excited for this match, because Braun Strowman was able to help elevate Bronson Reed into main event status, I would say. And I would say that the ceiling of Jacob Fatu is higher than Bronson Reed. So if Bronson Reed was able to reach those heights with Braun Strowman, imagine what Jacob Fatu could do here with Braun Strowman as well. The big difference, of course, is that Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed had a stipulation last Monster Standing. This is just a regular match. I also wouldn't be surprised if this just ends in shenanigans with a destruction, right? Like maybe Jacob Fatu destroys Braun Strowman outside of the ring. They get counted out. They go through barricades. They go through screens, whatever it might be. They brawl on the outside. That would be cool too. But I still think that Jacob Fatu either needs the victory, or if it ends in shenanigans, he needs to stand tall. But I would love for this to be a great showing of Jacob Fatu. I just don't want it to be a lackluster match. That would be the biggest foul here if it just isn't good.
It is the risk that they take. I think what you can do as well is a new wrinkle that we've seen in Jacob Fatu's game is give him a mic. If they do like the Rock thing and give him a mic during the match, that'd be sick. Mm-hmm. Imagine Jacob Fatu talking trash to Braun Strowman while just destroying him, just for a little bit to show that this guy has the charisma to do the Rock kind of thing. Those were my favorite moments where the Rock would take over the mic or the camera and just mess with his opponent. And I think if Jacob Fatu could show the world that he could do that too, I still think that would be a win, even if the match was subpar.
Sure. It sounds like we agree though. Like Jacob Fatu either needs to win or stand tall here. That's what I'm going with. Sounds like that's what you're going with here as well. The Intercontinental Championship match between Braun Breaker and Sheamus. I'll hand this one off to you.
Dog, I hope Sheamus wins here, but I think Sheamus winning needs to be at a Mania. I like Saturday Night Main Event, sure. It'd be cool to see him win on the NBC network television. But there's just so many things that end up going wrong for Sheamus in these matches. I mean, look what Kaiser shows up at it seemingly, or Pete Dunne. I feel that Braun Breaker can't lose. If Saturday Night Main Event is let me show you my wares, which was the first Saturday Night Main Event, I think Braun Breaker has to win here to show the world and to show the casual audience that this is our new upcoming guy. You remember this guy? You may remember this guy from the Ruthless Aggression era. I think Sheamus kind of hinted it in the promo, like he was the fastest rising star. He was able to beat John Cena for a championship early. He would win the Rumble early. Like that's the kind of things that he was able to accomplish early. And I think they're trying to show that Braun Breaker is ahead of him in his career, doing all the accolades earlier than Sheamus. So I think Braun Breaker gets the win here.
Yeah, like I want to believe that if there is a shock moment, a shock and awe needle mover moment that they could do on Saturday night's main event, that it could be this one. I just feel like with all of the hot potato of the Intercontinental Championship that happened during the trying to give the title to Jey Uso and then putting it back on Braun Breaker, if Braun Breaker were to lose it again this quickly, lose his second Intercontinental Championship this quickly, that would actually hurt Braun Breaker. So I don't want to see that. I do want to see Sheamus eventually win, but I don't know that this is the right venue. I kind of agree with you. I feel like Sheamus getting that Intercontinental Championship that he's been chasing for so long is either a Mania or a 2-night SummerSlam thing. That would be cool too there.
Do you feel that Sheamus in a 1v1 situation is less likely to win than he did in a triple threat? I feel when he had that Mania match with Drew and Gunther, like that is the perfect avenue for a Sheamus upset win type of vibe versus a one-on-one.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement, but I do want him to win in a one-on-one environment. And I want him to beat Braun Breaker. I just don't think that this is the right time or place. I feel like Braun Breaker still needs way more room to decant, to grow, to get better as the champion.
Now, if they were going to pull the trigger and take the belt off of Braun Breaker, I think it would be to put him in the Rumble. But we've seen Roman Rumbles with the IC champion in there too, running around. So it's not necessarily a clause that he has to have without the belt. I just feel like that Sheamus right now is one of those guys that he could put people over. He could tank losses. I just don't like. I think you said it right on the head right there. I don't think Braun Breaker could take an L right now, considering that he's been off of TV for a while. It feels like,
and if he appears, it's for 3 seconds. The last couple of Raws, he barely appears. He's like a background character, like just making a cutscene appearance in a video game.
Yeah. I don't know. He's still tan. Tan is all.
He's so tan. The man is perpetually in Punta Cana. The man is just constantly traveling in the Caribbean.
That's what it feels like. Absolutely.
All right, let's wrap things up with the World Heavyweight Championship match between Gunther and Jey Uso. I'll take this one first. Look, I don't want to say it's impossible. Jay. But there is a possibility where Jey Uso wins this, but I'm kind of echoing a lot of the things that we just talked about Braun Breaker. I don't think that Gunther can eat this loss here. Not at this stage. Not when the ring general is back. The confident Gunther that we all bought into. We're finally getting him back again. If we were talking about this being at SummerSlam or just later on in the year, I'd be like, yeah, Jey Uso's winning this. But I just have a hard time seeing Gunther losing this championship this close to WrestleMania. I just feel like Gunther is a WrestleMania worthy world heavyweight champion, and he's going to be carrying this thing there. That being said, I'm not 100% certain. I wish I was more confident. I still think that there's something in the back of my head that is saying Jey Uso is so popular. Main event Jey Uso, Saturday nights, main event, peanut butter and jelly. Like it does work really, really well, but it feels like it's just the wrong timing for this. So I am still going to say Gunther.
Do you feel that the match that Drew and Jey had gives you that moment of doubt because Jey was possuming that he was tired and exhausted, and the overconfident Drew is going to be the same page or the same playbook that Gunther's going to take, where he's going to be overconfident and he's going to toy with Jey. He's not going to put him out of his misery too quickly. That's a possibility. That's where my doubt sets in, is that the kind of WWE kind of gave us the road of how this can go down. I do feel, though, that we still are waiting for Hikuleo to show up. Now, I don't know if Hikuleo is getting like his body together like a Jacob Fatu, where he took a long time to debut after signing. And for those of you who know, Hikuleo is like another bloodline member who's like close to 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. Is this a place where Jey gets screwed by another bloodline member? But I feel the only reason why I'm against that is because I feel like the bloodline storyline's on ice because Roman Reigns is not around for a while. So because The Rock's not around, Roman's not going to be around, and Solo disappeared right off to the sunset, I don't think we're going to get any bloodline stuff moving forward. And I think Jey is away from the bloodline, so he could stand out and pursue himself as a single star, and it could be as the win. Is he going to win? I'm going to go with Gunther.
Okay. We're keeping it safe. Unlike last time.
There'll be 2 back-to-back Saturday night main events where Gunther was just dominant.
I know. But like, I feel like we were burned by last Saturday night's main event. We don't want to take the leap and predict the crazy outcome.
Ooh, we're shy.
Ooh. We are shy Gunther here. I don't think either of us are ready to take the leap until Saturday night's main event gives us cause otherwise to believe that crazy things can happen. I'm gonna keep going with the safe prediction here, and the safe prediction is Gunther.
It could be that if Gunther's hurt or Gunther has a vacation or for some reason he wants to take a break, there's things that we don't know that could give a reason why they put the belt on Jay. But that means though we would get a ruthless Gunther in the Rumble, which would be kind of crazy. Would be more exciting than Jay in the Rumble, I think.
Sure. I mean, Gunther being added to that Rumble would add to the how stacked that Rumble is in terms of star power.
And guess who else would be the Rumble?
No, Gunther Goldberg. We're not having this conversation here. Stop it.
Down on the Rumble.
Oh my God. What if Goldberg costs Gunther the match? What if Goldberg helps Jey Uso and he's yeeting with him at the end to close the show?
Dog, I feel like my dogs that are in my house right now are so upset about that. You know, it's like when there's like an evil presence.
Yeah, you said the name Goldberg.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Yeah. Folks, thank you so much for watching this extra little bonus episode. Again, you could have gotten this early over on Patreon, patreon.com/SantiZeb. Go check it out. There's so much more extra content over there that never gets uploaded to YouTube. So come check it out. Link in the description, link in the pinned comment. We'll leave you there. Take care, everybody, and enjoy Saturday night's main event.